talking about used underwear.
Well, we were talking about. I think that the greater point I was making was that at different points in your life, you'll know where to get certain things.
Oh, I see.
And what's up, colleagues? Welcome to Friends from Work. I'm Al Jackson. Michael Dean over there. My girl, my co-host, Tory Shulman. We're live here at Dude IDK Studios, and we were talking about things that you can and can't donate to, like Goodwill.
Yeah.
And the question of underwear came up. But I was saying there has to be somewhere to get used underwear. No shade. Wherever you are in your life, God bless. You know, but if you are in a place in your life where you need to get used underwear, it's probably better than no underwear. So, like, there's probably a place where you know to get it.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like if you find a place that sells used underwear, it's going to be, like, fetishized.
I think
so
it's
you're
a
going
little
to end up,
kinky.
you end up going to pay more.
Why are these $160?
Right.
So at work today,
With a picture of who was wearing them.
Yeah. At work today, we discussed how much it would cost for you to sell your used underwear.
Oh,
What is your number?
Don't you? You set the price.
Right.
But
right.
I mean, I think that for as much as that might be like a weird, funny question, I think you do it like anything else. You go look at the market, and you're like, well, what is so and so selling her underwear for? And you make your price against there.
Yeah.
Right? Because you just can't come. Because then you might come in way lower. Like somebody would have given you way
they sell used
more.
undies at Goodwill.
There you go.
I'm not
That's what
using
we were
my
wondering.
microphone.
See, my question,
Okay.
Christine, would
They
be
have
one
to
of
launder them first, right?
I would hope they
but
launder.
beyond launder, because I would think when you start to deal with like underwear and stuff that's been on the body, there might be like a bigger chance to get like that, like not bed bugs and stuff like crabs, whatever, anything that's alive. That might you might be more liable for that. I don't know what we're talking about, but that's my point. That's why I would think that you wouldn't be able to get undies at Goodwill. But shout out, I'm glad you can get those.
Yeah, and by the way, this is Luna. She likes long walks on the beach and romantic dinners.
What beach is even close to here?
I'm just saying.
The Reservoir Beach.
The reservoir.
That's a very specific like.
She
What do you
loves
like, the
reservoirs.
beach? No, I like the Reservoir Beach. If you want to go there.
Yes. Hello.
Tori, what's going on in your world?
Not much. I had a good show today. We had a fiddler on.
Ooh.
And just so you know, the Colorado Fiddlers Contest is going down at the National Western
Stock
Show.
Show.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy fiddled his little butt off, and he was only 17 years old, been playing the fiddle since 2. And I got to be honest, I think that is a beautiful sound. You know what I'm
The
saying?
dog didn't care
I'm
for
sorry,
it.
The
Luna.
dog was
I'm
really
so
upset by that.
sorry,
Yeah,
Luna.
it started panting.
She really
that-
didn't
yeah,
like
was not a fan of that.
I'm sorry.
I don't-
Oh.
What is the most popular song that involves like heavy fiddle?
You know the Ken Burns one? Na 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 na.
See, I think of the fiddle like faster and happier. Like, is that the same instrument? Okay.
And there's no difference between a violin and a fiddle.
Really?
No difference. Not one.
I was today years old.
I know. Isn't that a good fact?
That's super dope.
Super dope. Luna, what do you think?
That's crazy. All right.
You thought it was
so
cool,
how come
too?
people don't double up? You know, like when people say I speak Spanish and then I speak Italian, by proxy. Why don't you just say like I play the fiddle and I play the violin? Like why don't you see more people flexing with
Oh,
that?
yeah. Ants marching. Bow, 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 down. Oh, I got dog hair on me. Bow, bow, down. Bow, bow,
Isn't the fiddle like a big Irish instrument?
I think so.
Like,
Yes,
yes.
a lot.
They're like
that.
bars called like the fiddler.
And
Right.
like bluegrass and Irish
And now
ditties.
Fiddler on the Roof was
Yes.
not Irish.
No, he was very Jewish.
Very Jewish.
And then we interviewed the founder of Maria Empanadas. And guess what?
Okay, those are so good.
I took 3 of them home. But
That's
guess
right.
what? They are fully a Jewish family.
What?
Who knew?
Really?
A lot of Argentinian Jews.
Oh, I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Interesting.
And they got Maria and
Are
where
they German Jews? Did they flee?
No, she's Argent. Yes. Many of them had gone to South America.
Okay.
And her name was Lorena
Cop and stay on mic.
Cantorovisi.
Yes. All right.
Yeah, interesting. So maybe she's Italian?
No, she's Argentinian. They got the name wrong at Ellis Island.
Oh.
Yeah, you're like,
Hello.
you weren't even.
You don't have to-
I tried to say it and you just rolled right over it.
Sorry, everyone.
Yeah, I mean, you were off mic the way
The
like
fiddle.
Remember when people at like a bus strike would get interviewed in the 80s and they weren't used to being on TV and they'd be like, so yeah, the guy came over and put that other guy in a headlock. Like that's the way you just did that.
I love
You've
you.
been on camera more hours of your life than not probably in the last 10 years and still the mic is
You don't have to be rude
the
about
last
it.
no, because it's like that with
rude.
every day with our podcast.
Yep.
What is it with the mic?
Nothing. I just have a dog who loves me.
No, but we do it on our show too, and I kind of do the same
mic
thing.
regularly.
Okay.
But no, I just think it's like that says something like you're just always on. You don't always think like, oh, you need a mic to be saying something.
No, and I'm a theater girl, so I learned to project.
Okay. Do you usually do theater with no mic?
Am I what?
Like if you're doing theater, if you're doing Oklahoma.
No mic. I mean, they have mics drop down from the catwalks so that they amplify the sound, but you really got to be like, Oklahoma, you know,
and fill the
space.
Why don't they have the little like the Janet Jackson?
We didn't have that at GDS.
Okay.
But we had really good theater.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Did you when you become super rich from this podcast, are you going to donate until they can get the Janet Jackson mic?
Yeah.
The TED Talk
or
mic?
a lav or something.
Yeah,
you know?
I think the lav.
The Britney one, I would have killed for the Britney
Somebody,
one.
you know what's weird?
God, I love
is
the
like
Britney one.
artists don't bring mics back, and I think a lot of people like the Bob Barker mic with just that long silver. I mean, we get the technology is progressed, but it kind of looks like, I don't know, retro future. All right, let's get started. Even though I could talk about that kind of nerd stuff all day.
Me too. Sorry, microphone.
Michael Dean, today is the 5th anniversary of the January 6th riots. Where were you?
Oh, so I was here in Denver. We had
By the way, that question seemed very accusatory. I really just was like, where were you when you saw it?
Were you in the East Wing?
Yeah,
where
really,
were you?
That's not what your cell phone data says.
Right.
You know we can track these things, Michael.
I was,
were you pardoned?
I was not fighting any Capitol Police officers, nor breaking any windows.
Good for you.
Nor climbing any like marble, whatever.
Yes.
Or defecating on Nancy
So
Pelosi's?
I remember this is the thing was like, so we had finished recording our show, and I remember we had watched the rally that he held down the street, and some of the things that he said. I don't recall if we talked about it on that show or not. Maybe
No, we did not.
We did not.
Because my sister was texting me as it was happening.
Yeah.
She's like, now they've broken the wall.
Well, but that was
Were
the
we
thing.
on
Was
the
it?
air?
No, we were
not on the
It was
air when
right
that
after.
started.
Oh.
And then I went home, and typically I would go walk my dog and then take a nap. And
What a cute thing to do.
Yes.
well, I mean, I'm up since 4. I was up at 4 every day to do the
yeah.
show.
Yeah.
So I did that, and then I woke up to all of these texts from Chris and Bert being like, "What is going on? Have you been watching this?" And then I, of course, went and turned it on and watched what was going on, and I was just dumbfounded by what I was seeing. And I remember actually turning on CNN, and I think the first thing I saw was when they broke the window into the chamber.
Right. Yeah.
And
When they were already inside.
they were already inside, and it was really bonkers. Do you want to know the most interesting thing about that though? Was the next day when we were going to cover this on the show, my copy was rewritten several times because certain people were too nervous about calling out the people that were there as Trump supporters.
Oh.
Just in case, there was like other elements there that were actually doing the violent acts and this and that. But all I could think of myself was like, but they were all carrying Trump banners and Trump flags and like all of these things. Like, and they
he
had
had
all
said,
been
"Let's
to
go to the
and they had
Capitol."
all been at the Trump rally.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean these aren't Trump supporters? Like,
Right.
like that's exactly who they were.
Right.
But no, we did not mention that on
I
air.
mean,
Christina says, I said something to my boss about rioting at the Capitol, and the new manager turns and says, is it Antifa? And that's when I knew I was done with her.
Wow. Isn't it? You know what's interesting about like what you're saying, Michael Dean, is there's two. I immediately had two schools of thought on it. I'm like, of course they're all Trump supporters, but also in such a litigious society, I think I was looking at this case that happened like 5 or 6 years ago. But I remember I was talking to a friend about it this weekend, where there was like a girls' high school basketball game, and on a hot mic, one of the guys said something racist, the N-word, or called them monkeys or something like that.
God.
Yeah, and because the newspaper then wrote about this, but I guess had mislabeled this person in some way, like the wrong last name or something like that.
And they sued for defamation?
And the guy that said the vulgar thing won for something like 17 million or something, or like it might have been more than that. It was like between 13. It was like a gigantic number. And so I'm wondering if the station is also like, we know they're Trump supporters too, but if we get sued, you're going to go home, Michael Deaton. We're going to get sued.
The BBC
So,
was
like,
just sued by Trump because of it.
Right. So there's like, in a litigious society, I know people are always like, call a spade, and I totally get that. But I think that there's always a legal ramification for good or bad that's factored in. So I don't know, Tory. How do you think we're going to remember January 6th in 10 years and then 20 years?
So if you go to the whitehouse.gov/January 6th, it's this black and white. It has 1/6/2020. I don't know on there.
Here, I'll pull it up for you.
Okay, and then it has just
It's
black and white
/6.
of 1/6/2021, and then it has Nancy Pelosi blinking in black and white. We're gonna show you guys right here because this is how computers work. And then it has like the entire Adam Schiff, Jamie Raskin, the whole January 6th committee that prosecuted Adam Kinzinger, Lynn Cheney. You can see. So we know how this administration is covering it and saying that Pelosi was given 10,000 soldiers and she never used them. And that's been widely seen as false and not happening.
I had no idea that was even a...
Oh, yeah. So he blames 1/6 fully on Pelosi.
Yep.
Nancy Pelosi?
Nancy Pelosi.
It was Nancy's fault.
Yeah, and if you've watched the documentary, her daughter was there and is a documentarian and took video. And she's like...
I saw this on HBO, I think,
yeah,
right?
and she goes, if he comes down here, I'm going to punch him in the face.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to see it as, December 7th is seen as the day that'll live in infamy when we had Pearl Harbor.
Right.
And I think that this will look like another day of infamy. It's when they wanted to stop a legal process,
Right.
Wanted to stop the elections, crashed through windows, beat up cops, and
That resulted in death?
The pepper sprayed. I mean, you just have to trust your eyes. So you just see what you see and you don't listen to all the BS about it. I think it'll look like one of the darkest days in our American history. I think this is what the founders were worried about.
Well, I don't think the founders could have anticipated that the people that may have even participated in said events or orchestrated it would have such a control over the media and the way that
and the
things are
pardons
remembered.
and the pardoning, the pardons of 1,500
so when records
people.
are looked at, there will not be the arrest there, the conviction there that was found in a court of law. And also, I mean, if you think about, I know people who actually have kids that have woken up in the morning and not to Sesame Street, but to PragerU.
Oh,
And
PBS just shut down today.
Right.
Yeah.
PBS shut down.
No,
So
not the Corporation for
they
Public
dissolved,
Broadcasting.
right?
Right.
Sesame Street has a thing where their Big Bird is hugging Snuffleupagus.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It
That's
made me cry.
really...
Because I think PBS is still going to be around, and same with NPR.
Well, I think Netflix bought Sesame Street, or they
Right.
got Sesame Street.
I know the rest of the shows are
But
like,
I
why
think
don't you buy
PBS
us?
is losing its money from federal
Oh
funds.
yeah, definitely. But that was
Yeah.
it. All was funneled through the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
Yeah, Right. yeah.
And that's the one that self-dissolved today.
Yeah.
Real quick, this is the narrative that the White House is pushing about January 6th, and I guess the question is this what is going to be like the
Right.
narrative come 5 years, 10 years
Right.
from now?
Isn't that insane?
And I'm going to read it. This is a quote from that website that Tory was talking about. The Democrats masterfully reversed reality after January 6th, branding peaceful patriotic protesters, love the alliteration there, as insurrectionists and framing the event as a violent coup attempt orchestrated by Trump, despite no evidence of armed rebellion or intent to overthrow the government. In truth, here we go. It was the Democrats who staged the real insurrection by certifying a fraud-ridden election, ignoring widespread irregularities, and weaponizing federal agencies to hunt down dissenters, all while Pelosi's own security lapses
Right.
invited the chaos
This
they
is the
later
story.
exploited to seize and consolidate power. This gaslighting narrative allowed them to persecute innocent Americans, silence opposition, and distract from their own role in undermining democracy.
Luna, what do you think about that? I know it's ridiculous. I know.
I don't know. They made some points. No, I mean it's sad, but they always say history is written by the winners. And as you were reading, Michael Dean, what I heard is I heard a gigantic democratic failure to prosecute and put these people in jail when they were in power, and they effed around.
They
took too long.
They
took
also
too
tried to
long,
prosecute
yeah.
Trump.
Yeah, and
it didn't work.
And then they were just like, no. They were like not showing up for subpoenas and stuff. And Merrick Garland was like, but please. And like the fact, like he's such a weak man.
But I do believe this, and maybe I'm optimist, and you guys can call me a Pollyanna. I do believe the narrative that Trump that you just read will not be the narrative that is seen within the history of the United States. I think with straight video of the Viking guy holding a Trump flag crashing into the windows and beating up cops, it's hard to ignore what we can see in our own eyes. So I do think that that's for him. That will be his narrative, but I do not think that's American narrative. Do you smell?
I think there is a serious risk that it could be labeled and it could be remembered like a Boston Tea Party.
Absolutely. I mean, as time goes on, and you have to think about it.
I think it'll be known as the insurrection, trying to stop an election process. Even Mike Pence was like, "We're not going to allow this to happen."
But Mike Pence doesn't have any pull in the culture.
Yeah, but he was the president of the Senate. I know.
Yeah.
But even Lindsey Graham was like, "I'm done. This is too much." Like they were on the ground in gas masks trying to run away.
Right, but now Lindsey Graham has done a 180,
and
now he would be even more valuable to be like now. That I have some distance from it. It wasn't a riot.
Right.
So I feel like that was kind of my point is the people that are, if things continue the way they are going to have a lion's share of the public attention and the public narrative because Elon Musk has Twitter. You know,
I think for the next 3 years, maybe, but that's it. I don't think the history books will lead as that. I think it'll be seen as an insurrection.
All right.
I hope. But maybe I'm a Pollyanna.
No.
Nancy Hunter says, I sure hope Tory is correct.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, we're moving on, Tory. And we're
Luna,
moving on
was
to
that awful?
on a show where I feel like we've
know.
talked about everything 2 times. I don't think we've talked about Greenland enough.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Do you know it's the least densely populated country in the world?
I didn't even know people lived there at all. I know there's
60,000 people.
56. Yeah. It's
No,
about
just
60,000.
60,000. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Have you ever met anybody from Greenland?
No, I have not met a Greenlander.
That's a very
that what it's
strange
called?
I
thing.
think so. I think they're like mostly Inuit. Am I in the mic yet? I'm sorry.
No, probably not.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You look like that's your therapy, dog. But yeah, you're Luna's cool.
Luna's cool. Yeah. So Greenland is in autonomous territory of Denmark, and Stephen Miller is being poised as the new leader of these new regime changes. The scariest man alive.
The majority of Greenland's population is Inuit.
Yep.
Making up around 88 to over 90% of the residents.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So they say they need it for security reasons when really it's got full of, what do you call it? Oil, rare earth minerals.
And most importantly, it's where you can stake claim to the Arctic Circle.
Oh,
which is this is what it's all about, is the northern shipping routes once the polar ice cap is no longer.
Once Greenland, you're right, unfreezes due to climate change, you will, it's terrible. This whole thing's terrible. You will
Speaking of climate change, it's January, you're in a skirt.
It's 67 degrees out.
Beautiful outside.
It is stunning. I was going to go sunning
the trees are budding.
I know.
It's not good.
It is
not
weird.
Good.
It is so. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Tori, stay on topic.
Okay, Julia, I agree with you about Stephen Miller. I completely agree with you. By the way, he is a Jew himself. Self-loathing, in my opinion. I just wanted to say that. But yeah, Greenland they're saying for security reasons, we already have a base there that we've had for a very long time. But the idea really is once it unfreezes due to climate change, the oil will come up, the rare earth minerals will come up, and it's a great spot for the Arctic
wait time on
Circle.
that?
Not that long.
Well, I think they can get to
thought
the
it was
oil.
like
I think
basically a
it's
sheet of ice.
Yeah, it is. They can
All
get
ice.
They can get to the oil, I think, through the ice, no problem. I don't know.
Sure, but they said that once it unfreezes.
I think it's less about the oil and all that, and more about the strategic position
I could see that.
around the
I
Arctic.
think it's a lot about the
here's the thing: like
minerals.
Canada has that strategic position, Russia has that strategic position, but America doesn't. And if Greenland is, if that's our territory, then we have that strategic position. We have a port and we have a way through the Arctic Circle.
China's trying to claim they have a right to Venezuela oil too today.
Well, they have paid a lot of money to help with infrastructure in that country.
Well, it's not doing very well.
Well,
I'm not
the
laughing.
Oil,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like but what you're saying, Tori, is kind of I think what a lot of people think. They look at like, a country like Venezuela or the Philippines, and you're like, it's really sad that the general populace is living below human standards.
Yeah.
And then but you look at the land that it's sitting on. The land is rich.
Very rich.
The people get
Very,
taken
very
over
rich.
and they get their resources exploited. But a lot of the places were like, we need to send $5 there because those kids aren't eating. They are sitting on gold, diamonds, oil, minerals. But
Petroleum,
these
all of
countries
that.
are the ones that are sought after, and regimes are put in place to then make sure that there is the lion's share of whatever that's sitting on distributed to the countries that feel like they should be first in line.
Let me ask you guys this real quick. The Danish Prime Minister, I think yesterday or today, said that any American military move to seize control of Greenland would amount to the end of the NATO military alliance.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Do you think
you're
that's the
breaking
case?
you're breaking international law. In which case you're just claiming regime change and essentially doing a coup. So that would just rip apart the entire alliance.
That's big.
Absolutely.
But it would rip it apart, and it would also destabilize just kind of how things are in the world.
Yeah, and then
because,
Denmark is in war. Now we're in a Europe war. Now we're in allies. Now we're in World War III.
People are going to choose new sides.
Yeah, exactly. And I do
Because,
want to say Trump has hinted that he believes he can be sort of king of the entire Western Hemisphere, which is not true.
Yeah, I think.
And I agree with
fell asleep
Gigi.
watching Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I know he's Joffrey.
Yeah.
But I do think this is I think this is Stephen Miller's plan. And he is all over Jake Tapper. I don't know if you guys saw the interview.
No.
He was all over being like, "We are a superpower, Jake." And he went on about how we own the whole Western Hemisphere. And Jake Tapper, no joke, leans over and goes, I just really don't understand what you're talking about anymore.
Yeah.
So funny.
It
was
but maybe
crazy.
Jake Tapper should know what he's talking about, because not only does it appear that they're serious, it also appears that there's nobody that's going to stand up to do anything about it.
No enforcement. That's what I always
the
say.
Democrats haven't even tweeted hey.
No one's doing their job this morning.
It's just no one's saying anything.
How about if you're running as a Republican in 2028? You don't want to come up and say that this is against international law and make a stand for this. So it's all kind of crazy. It is Project 2026. I
don't know
believe in
if
this.
it's as unpopular as you think it is with the general public.
I know it's unpopular.
Well, you don't.
I just know it's against the law.
it's
it's just
definitely
against the law. Yeah.
I think the popular opinion was with getting Maduro out of Venezuela.
I think so too.
Well,
I don't know about the majority, but I think it's a lot closer to 50-50 or 60-40 than it was 90-10.
Well, it was a horrible regime, and we can all understand that. But I mean, taking someone and kidnapping them is certainly not what we have in international law.
It's a third of Americans support U.S. strike on Venezuela.
Yeah, I mean that's a decent chunk. It's not the majority, but it's a
covered in
decent
Luna.
chunk of people.
But that's about his 35% base.
Yeah, he continually keeps around 37%.
Right.
Yeah.
I just think that it's an easier sell than trying to get those same supporters to be like, hey, you're gonna be glad we gave $40 billion to, what was it, Argentina? What do we give that money? It's I think that's a harder sell than saying this guy's because that's really the reason they've been able to kill people in the Caribbean. Is just accusing them of having drugs.
Right.
Yeah.
So they tried to wipe the Maduro as a drug peddler. Which I wouldn't be shocked, but
what happened?
Yeah, there's nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, what happened to America first? Also,
Right.
I do want
or a trial first
or
before you start
exactly.
dropping bombs on people. That's
exactly.
crazy.
Yeah, and I do want to say very quickly. Well, I just lost my train of thought. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say Gigi here is saying, if I were Tim Walz, I would not have suspended my bid for re-election. The other party seems to have no regard for laws anyway.
It's like the Al Frankens of this world.
Well, that actually was going to be, I think, our next topic.
Yeah, we're going to get to that on our next story. So let's do it now. Tori, what's going on with Tim Walz?
All right. So if you haven't been followed in Minnesota, Minneapolis, there's a huge Somali community there, the largest outside of Somalia, and they have been running since COVID a daycare center. We found out fraud, a scheme. And with tons of lunch programs and daycare centers and millions, they actually think it's gone up to 1 billion and maybe up to 9 billion. And it's one of the largest COVID era frauds we've ever seen. And a majority of Somalian money is coming from this community in Minnesota because of these daycare centers and sending them back. Now they went to investigate. There ain't no kids in these daycare centers, guys. There's nothing there. It's just money being donated, money coming in. It's a big scandal. It's a really, really big scandal. And Tim Walz has now suspended his bid for re-election.
Now, real quick, is Tim Walz at all involved in this?
He is accountable. He really is accountable for a
Because it
9
happened
billion
on his
fraud
watch?
scheme. Yeah, it happened under his leadership.
But he had nothing to do with the
So
actual
far,
fraud.
it has not shown that he knew or was aware, but he said today, the buck stops with me.
Right.
Now, just so you know, he has 11 months left in his governing as for Minnesota, and he says he will not stop. And he said, this was kind of sexual, but he goes, and for those that want me to resign, I will be riding you harder than you've ever ridden. You've been ridden. And I was like, oh, thank you, Julia.
yes.
Sorry, my skirt was
Well, look,
showing.
Can it just be said it doesn't look great when you're accused of something and you stop your campaign immediately?
It's not great. It's not great. It's not great. And you know what? I have to be fair here. He should have known. There should have been more investigation into this scheme. But that's what it is. I love Tim Walz. I hope he runs.
Is there an amount of money where you're like, there's no way that a small government could have missed that amount of money?
It's an enormous amount of money. It's just a lot.
And it's
like, hard for me to believe
it'd
there
be
was
like
no
coming home and your house isn't there. And you're
Yeah.
just like, I've been really busy at work.
Yeah, no children at all of these daycare centers, and nobody knows anything. That's very suspicious on my end. But again, I think Tim Walz is a really decent human being, and I'm sad that he won't be running. Now, people are saying that Amy Klobuchar will come back and try and run as governor.
Are there any new people?
I know.
It's just like the NFL going and getting these old quarterbacks. They're like, there's
Phillip
not a
Rivers,
26-year-old that can do this. Like,
Luna, do you
it's
want
just
to
like
run?
they
I think John Elway should do it.
Oh, nice.
I mean, they just keep getting like, retired, and quite frankly, I mean, this isn't a knock; it's a compliment. Like wealthy politicians, and I think maybe some people that are hungrier. I mean, it's not say what you want, but like Lauren Boebert and what's the other Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Well, she's switched.
They came in hungry.
Yeah.
They were talking smack, and like there was an energy to them that people connected with. Like obviously their rhetoric was something I'm absolutely not down with, but I'm saying that they were loud about where they stood and what they wanted to do and what their goals were, and they were unwavering in that. And I just don't see that with the Democrats at all.
We don't politic well.
There's like no, but like politicking well. I do agree with you, but like even just letting me know your message.
Yeah.
If I just hear you yelling upstairs and I'm like, what's the problem? Like if you don't slow down and say what your message is, it's not going to resonate with anybody.
And they don't do it well. They bring a book to a Twitter fight.
There's a real leadership vacuum at the top.
Yeah.
You know, Chuck is just not doing it. And Hakeem Jeffries is not rallying.
Chuck Schumer's not. I mean, really, Pelosi was really good when she was there because she was at least a leader.
Yeah, but you're talking about an 87-year-old
I said when she was there in the
Yes.
past. Yeah, I agree. Beautiful Luna, my pit bull's name is Luna also. Isn't that lovely? Yes. So Harbaugh.
Jim Harbaugh.
Oh, that's about the
football?
Yeah, never mind. Sorry.
All right. Well, you know what I did think about is like the San Diego Chargers are in the playoffs. And I was like, say what you want about him. He wins. He's in that Michigan cheating scandal. He won. Maybe that kind of ties in with the Democrats, and maybe they just need to get some W's.
Yeah, we just need younger
they're
people.
Trying to play by like the King's rules.
We just need younger people in Congress. And Jack Schlossberg, who is John F. Kennedy's grandson, is running. And in my opinion, we need more Democrats like that understand social media.
Right.
Mamdani, and whether or not you don't like or dislike Mamdani, he knows how to politic and he knows how to campaign.
But the problem, it seems like Schumer and Jeffries, they refuse to endorse Mamdani, and so like there's
some
like
problems
there's a problem
with his anti-Semitic sayings. There's some issues.
But I mean, it seems like from where the base is, which is pro Mamdani, he's as popular as a candidate as that Democrats have
for
had.
New York.
Yeah, but I mean, like people know about the story worldwide.
Yeah,
like, it's big for a reason. He met the president for a reason.
Yeah,
Trump
and
so
was in love with him.
Like yes, and it seems like the Democratic base is in love with him because he does have a uniting message of making things affordable.
And he knows how to campaign properly.
And he immediately came in and did some stuff.
And he connects with people.
And he walks the streets. He took
where
the
they
subway.
are. Yeah.
Like
then
he seems
why
to
doesn't
get
he
it.
connect with Schumer and Jeffries?
Because
what do you think that is?
I don't think again, I say they bring a book to a Twitter fight. They don't know how to make quick jests. They don't know how to lead. They don't know how to bring people together. They don't know how to play dirty, which is all the Republicans do.
That's part of politics.
They're old, established, and their time has passed.
Well, I think the other thing is that they're like defending these old ideas of what the Democratic Party is.
Yeah, it's not that anymore.
And like it's archaic.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And they proved to be like, inept at prosecuting, at, winning cases. Don't think about how far.
Oh, Jasmine Crockett. That's a great point.
Yeah,
More like Crockett would be fabulous.
Right. But like Jasmine Crockett is popular in her district. But when we're talking about things playing out over the country, Like, I'm down with Jasmine Crockett.
I think she's nationally
We
getting
need
more well
the
known.
kind of energy that she brings.
Yeah, that's what
And I think that, like, maybe the Democrats 10 years later might follow the same plan where you get a charismatic candidate. Republicans have Trump. Democrats have early Mamdani. And he brings in kind of his own people, because none of the Trump 1.0 people are there.
Yeah.
They're all gone.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, these are new
yeah.
Trump people around him, and he's getting stuff done.
Josh Shapiro is another one. I think Buttigieg is another one. These are all young. They know how to play in the 2026 world, and that's how you need to do it.
You're right. And I
I don't
they
think
know.
Booker is very. Someone wrote, Emlo wrote Cory Booker. I think he tries really hard, and sometimes he does well, but I just.
Yeah,
Look.
he's falling in that same category
Yeah,
as
a little
like
bit of
Beto
established.
O'Rourke,
Yeah.
where you're like, oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
but it's like they're not gonna do anything. Remember, Beto was big because he just said the F word.
No, Beto, yeah, he was like a punk rocker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get
Luna,
to
you're
this
half up, half
before we go.
Do you want to stay up?
I'm gonna get one more serious story, but we got to talk about some fun stuff first. Tori, I always love discussing these kinds of things with you. Kathy Griffin fell in love with a 23-year-old.
Who wouldn't?
Said that it was just like a post-divorce thing, and these things happen, and she's embarrassed it happened, but it happened. Do you think this is like a common story? Because I do.
It's real quick. It's a 42-year age gap.
Okay.
She is 65.
Oh,
He is 23.
she's okay. Tori, thoughts?
Do I think this is like?
Does this happen more than people think it does? Because it seems like not to always bring up Bill Belichick, which we were already talking about him, but this is a very similar age gap.
And Cher.
And so, yeah, and Cher. So, like, do you think it's just kind of par for the course that I don't think a man could write this article? I don't think that will be received well. Guys, my bad. There was a 26-year-old hottie. You know how it is. And they're like, I hate my life. I'm not about to let you slide, dog.
Well, Tom Brady is how old? And he's looking at Alex Earl, that's like a 20-year difference, I think.
I think there's a big difference.
He's
between
48.
And she's 26.
Yeah, I mean, but that's a little different than 65.
Yeah, that's quite a
It's 20 years difference.
Quite a big difference. I say do what you want. I just say do what you want. If you're being supported and loved on, and that's what gets your
Goat.
what do you say? Gets your sexual fire
Wow.
roaring.
You sound like a Christian sex therapist.
Right.
You want to unlock your man's sexual fire. You know what that is? It's very random.
I just say do what you Leo.
Yeah.
Leo won't date anyone over like a zygote.
I
He's
know.
like, it's like so
but we
ridiculous.
are acting like there's not movie star pretty people privilege going
Of
on.
course.
Oh, yeah.
But in real life, if your 19-year-old cousin that's like, I just finished my first year at insert university, here's my boyfriend Lou, and a 60-year-old man comes and he's got his filthy paws on your niece, you'd be like, I love, good for you two. You'd be like, if you don't get away from my niece, I'm gonna break your
I probably
face.
would be like
yes,
that. Yeah, I
because
probably would
it's
be
a
like
thing,
that.
Tori.
Oh, Brandon just
Brandon.
says 2026.
Oh, thank you.
$20.26. Brandon.
I love our
You freaking
colleagues.
cutie. I fell in love
Does that
with
get a feet pick?
Do you want feet pic? No, that's not enough. Shelly says, I fell in love with a man 25 years older than me. It was mutual, but I was married, so it went nowhere.
I don't know. If you're married, you're at least in enough of an adult relationship to make a call. Like, even if you want to cheat, whatever, you're making adult decisions. When there's like a 65, 22, it is just such a, I mean, really the 22-year-olds with frontal lobe isn't even developed
Not
yet.
until 25.
And
yeah.
so it just seems predatory, even if it's legal.
Yeah.
I get it.
Real quick, given the state of the economy and how expensive things are, I began to think maybe this is a really great calculated move. You know, why not go for a much older sugar daddy or sugar mama, hopefully with some health problems, and, you know, you can just go ahead and, you know,
Like the
Get your-
Anna Nicole Smith.
Get
Michael
your
Day
bag.
got those old stripper ideologies. Look, ladies, you're not going to be 22
But to be
forever.
honest, I agree with what Shelly says. Not all older people look their age. Like J-Lo's 53.
Yeah,
I'm trying.
I know.
Trying.
No, because we do when we picture J-Lo with a boy toy or whatever. We're like, yeah, of course.
Yeah, right.
But I don't know when you see it in real life. When you see
56.
it was like what happened at
56, good for her.
at Steamboat when I told you like the comedy club turned into a nightclub real quick. I felt so uncomfortable, and I was only 20.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't want to touch anybody.
Yeah.
You know, and so I don't know. Put another 20 years on that.
I know. And what references are you guys laughing
You
about?
could be running into my grandkids in 20 years, theoretically.
Right.
Let me ask you guys if any of you are dating with a large age gap. Please write in and let us know if that's something
And
that's going
also,
on.
what do you consider large? Is it 20 plus?
Kind of.
I mean, 15 is still a really large.
15's really
age
big.
gap.
I think 15's the line before you go, oh, that's a gap. 15-year, if somebody was like, I'm 53 and my wife's 37 or vice
Right.
versa. Even if it's vice versa, I wouldn't think about it because those ages you're kind of an adult in your prime.
Right.
I just think like when it's like one person is definitely in one of the three early, middle, and end stage. When you see that dynamic,
Overlapping.
yeah,
Yeah,
that-
It was really,
that's a
it was really
problem.
interesting. So, I was on that cruise with all of these older people, and there was this one gay Australian who was there with his partner, who I think was about 15 years older than him. Now, the Australian was in his 60s, and I would never see him out with his partner, like never, except for one night when I saw them heading towards the restaurant, and his partner was using a walker, and there was his much younger 65-year-old, Australian boyfriend.
Right.
And I was like, I think you sign up for this thing before you realize what it's going to be like, 20, 30 years later,
Yeah, 'cause
when
things
things are
change.
very different.
Yeah, things
It's
change,
a
yeah.
different relationship and it's a difficult conversation.
Ooh,
Nancy just sent us $20
thank
and
you.
26 cents.
Wow.
Hello.
Yeah.
Shimmy, 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 shimmy.
I think Michael Dean brings up an incredible point because I think it's something that in the cis hetero community does not do a good job with it, which is having conversations, especially with anything having to do with our sex currently, our sex in the future, and like having a uncomfortable discussion like, Tory, you are 25 years older than me. What are we going to do when?
Al's
Right.
105.
I mean, really, we'd have to do that for this podcast. It's like, Al, what happens when you start missing your cues? You stop taking us.
you're not like in dementia.
I know, but
You're
I'm saying.
still a young buck.
Thank you. That was the nicest thing anybody said to me.
buck.
Yes. Did I ever tell you about there was a bartender when I used to live in Miami with my roommate? That's what everybody thought was good looking. And we would go to the bar, and the bartender, this is back in the day when bartenders would be blackout, just blacked, and she was so fun. She would like pour our beers, and sometimes they'd be upside down. And it would just be going on the side, and she'd be like, "Yeah, so what brings you boys in?" And I remember thinking that was like one of the first times where I was like, "Oh, a significantly older woman thinks I'm a." It was the first time it crossed my mind, even though I think she said that to everybody.
Yeah, she says that to
Yeah,
everyone.
yeah,
That's
she
like
was-
believing the stripper loves you.
Well, listen,
What's wrong?
we had something special.
Oh my God, you scared.
That's what you get for getting in the dog's face. All right, Tori, let's keep it moving. I wanted to talk about this because these are the kind of philosophical discussions I love to have with my girl. Tori, Julia Roberts, recently talking about Pretty Woman, said that even though everybody loves it now, couldn't be made. What are your thoughts? Could Pretty Woman be made today? Do you think the public would receive it the same way that they did? Michael Dean, when was that made?
Oh, that's a really great question.
Wait, let me we got to guess before you say it. What do
Gary
you-
Marshall in the,
I'm saying 1990.
I would say 1992. Yeah, some of the early 90s.
Oh,
So, or what's the final answer?
I said
90,
93.
92.
1990.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Gary
All right.
Marshall's like, I like to make a picture about hookers.
Well, it's
With
actually
a heart
interesting.
of gold.
I was reading.
I
I was reading about it, and it actually was optioned from a book, and the book was much more of a cautionary tale, and it was really pretty dark. But then I think there was some merger, and like someone took over the script and over the whole thing, over the project, and they lighten the whole thing up into a rom-com.
And I have to say, the casting made it work.
100%.
If you didn't have Julia Roberts and Richard Gere, I'm not sure it would have been so charming.
And real quick, Julia just said that she couldn't play that character anymore because she's not innocent enough, that it really required a certain innocence.
Yes. And she was a newbie. No one knew her.
As a prostitute?
Which is kind of interesting if you think about it.
I think an innocent prostitute is very interesting. How'd that happen?
Well, it was sort of a Cinderella story, and I know we're talking about sex workers, but it really was meant to. She was working the streets, and he was this rich guy, like the prince.
Yeah.
And then the last line is, what happens after the prince rescues the princess? And she says, then she rescues him right back. And it was supposed to be this, like, we each need each other kind of thing.
Let me ask you this, because I think that's a great sentiment.
Have you...
Michael Dan, I want you to answer this as well. How much money before you notice it? Because everybody's like, I don't care what you make, Michael Dean. I don't care what you make, Tory. I love you. But there's a kind of money. It's kind of what the premise of Crazy Rich Asians is. There's a point where you're around a certain amount of money that is not the class that you've lived in, and it is noticeable. So what do you think that amount is? Like for you personally, where you'd be like, oh. Like I saw some pictures of Monaco, and I was like, I'd stand out immediately.
In Monaco?
Yes.
I just saw stuff about Monaco,
yeah,
too.
there was a murder there.
Yeah, I just saw that, Murder in Monaco.
Yeah. But I was just like, oh, there are places where
Is
like...
this a movie?
It's a documentary.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hi. I don't know. How much for you?
I don't know. I think that there's a point where like you go places and you feel that you shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
And that's not by mistake. Like when you go into a party or something and you're like waiting for somebody to get something, but you're like, it's clear you should not. Like if you're crashing a wedding, you just feel like you're not supposed to be there. And I just wonder, like, maybe if there was a Pretty Woman 2, that would be an interesting, like, that the actual class divides are real, whether we want to acknowledge them or not. And they start to pull them apart after the initial Cinderella story, which I think kind of messes people up toward, because I think people want the Cinderella princess marriage, but then they're like, they haven't thought much about after.
Right. You get to the point. Right. I feel like Luna's being inappropriate. Let's not show that. Okay. Go ahead.
Blur that. Yeah.
Well, I think it's hard for people who aren't used to certain, luxuries or whatnot. And there's like questions about, do I belong? Do I fit in? Maybe they feel uncomfortable, but also like, how do you act in these spaces? What is expected of you in these spaces? And I think
how their family treats you.
Right.
I mean, there's a thing. Everybody's walked in somewhere and they're like, you can tell everybody's like, can I help you, sir? Like that kind of vibe.
Right.
And so like, what if you felt that from your future mother-in-law?
Right.
And I think that's or father-in-law, like you, city people up here marrying my daughter. Like, I think that's a very common sentiment.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
So I don't know. That'd be kind of interesting. But do you think this would get killed in the comment section before it really even made it to the big screen if it was made today? If it leaked out what the premise was?
Well, I'll tell you right now, a lot of people are saying that it's an uncomfortable watch today.
It is weird when George Costanza, what's his name? Why do I know him?
In the movie?
Yeah, he tries to, like, eventually kind of sexually assault. I mean,
does he?
Yeah.
S.A. her?
Yeah, and then Richard Gere comes in and does the big poof.
Really?
Yeah. And
I don't remember that
and
part.
that part's kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah.
He's like, come on, you want it. Come on, I'll pay for it. And she's like, yeah, that part's bad.
But I mean, but do you think the overall sentiment that like you can make it, even though like you're not that you can, but like this is a means to financially enrich yourself, find a rich man while you're working the streets, and maybe a man will save your life. Do you think that premise would go over now?
No.
Like literally,
it's a little dated.
The knight in shining armor.
Yeah, I mean that's
Right.
every Disney movie.
Right.
But
I think
yeah,
there's
it's
a
a
place
little.
for those too.
No, but
I think so,
I don't think they hold up with audiences today.
I don't think so
Yeah,
either.
especially the man
in the white
the
horse.
white knight or whatever,
Yeah.
like coming in
Is he
and
a white
saving.
knight or on a white horse?
I think it's a white horse because it's like a biblical kind of.
Yeah, I think it's a white horse too. But yeah, he does slap her around. That's for sure.
He does?
Yeah, it's very weird. What's that guy's name? George Costanza.
Yeah.
Jason Alexander. No one wanted.
Do you think there's any what do you think is the most popular movie maybe of our childhood or our coming up that cannot be made today? Because when I see a lot of these movies, I'm like, oh, you notice they don't play a lot of like
John Hughes?
Yeah, Revenge of the Nerds
Yeah.
and Sweet 16. Like I just think that
Although
it's too.
I watched Sweet 16 the other day. It's totally inappropriate, still hilarious,
Right.
still really good. And, like Breakfast Club, I think is still an
I
interesting
love
film
Breakfast
today.
Club.
I think it
I don't
holds
know
up
if my kids
weirdly.
would think it was funny. I think they see the inappropriateness before the humor.
Right.
And maybe
Yeah.
that's the difference between our kind of
Generations.
generations. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Michael Dean, really quickly, you sent something to me, and I thought it was really interesting, Tori. Nikki Glaser is hosting the Golden Globes again. Is it okay for the host that's going to be doing some of the roasting of the stars to text potential roastees and be like, is this joke cool with you?
She said she's admitted to doing that before.
Yeah.
Right. And I think this year she said that she's going to try not to do that. But I mean, does that just kill the humor?
I think it's fine. I think it's fine.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think
Michael Dean, I do too.
Whoa.
I do too.
Yeah, I think it's fine. You're giving a heads up. I don't know.
And also,
In this culture, I feel like you got to be a little careful.
I absolutely do. And I know there's like this premise like, oh, comics can say anything and there's no limits. Like there's some things that somebody could say and have said that have resonated with people and affected relationships in Hollywood moving forward. I'm sure a lot of stuff is like stuff behind the scenes that we don't even know about. But don't get it confused. Like a lot of those people on those roasts have been like, yo, that dude took a shot at my dad. He died that year. Like you laugh it off on the dais because you're on Netflix and 400 million people are watching. But you're like, okay, Michael, then you want to make kid in the wheelchair jokes? Okay. You're telling me that, like, so I could see.
I mean, she was panned for her SNL monologue about child.
Right.
Well,
So,
yeah.
so you're going to
You
get it. And I mean, that's the public, but a lot of these people are your colleagues. Like,
Or
these are people
maybe
that
the
you
people
might
to
you
work again.
work with.
Yeah,
or
totally.
suggest
Yeah.
to work with you.
Yeah, I think it's fine doing the call
yeah.
beforehand.
Yeah. Even though I think
I don't think Chelsea Handler would do that, but
Michael
I do
Dean,
think
you seem like you feel differently.
Yeah. I think if you're that worried about the joke that you feel like you need to call ahead, you already have an answer.
that's fair.
You know what I mean? Like,
But sometimes she said she wrote them, and they're like, "Yeah, that's hilarious."
That's a good point. Some people are like, you wouldn't even know. They're like, Michael Dean doesn't want any jokes about his hat. And you're like, what?
Yeah, right.
He has a great hat. You know,
Right.
but like, I think it's the thing that you might not know, not the third rail.
Oh, I know
and
what
you
she-
might want to.
right.
Let me ask
might
you this.
want to.
She made fun of Benny Bianco. Is that his name or Blanco?
Betty Blanco, I think.
And because remember, she made fun of Selena Gomez's husband. She wrote him and said, "I'm going to do that," and he was like, "Yeah, go for it."
okay. Well, let me ask you this. Is this also a bit of clout chasing?
I don't know if it's clout chasing. I think the way that the walls have been knocked down between being big on YouTube, big on social media, having a big podcast, being a reality star, a football player, doesn't matter. You all end up on traders. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
because like there's no like real hierarchy. So if I'm doing a big YouTube project and I need a host for it, I can either, call somebody that's been cool with me.
Right.
They even called to make sure that joke about my son was okay. I'm going to think about them as opposed to like, that'd be the last dude I call.
I agree.
So you're going to be
Okay.
working with each other for a long, and I don't
Yeah.
know if going for one edgy joke is worth it. All right.
Yeah, and Brandon just says it's an award show, not a roast. But when you have Nikki Glaser as your host, it is a roast.
Right.
And I also
It's
like
gonna
this
be hard.
Ask Chris
that
Rock
also
that
rhymes.
question.
Yeah.
Good. Wow. I mean, that's something about like, I think when was the anniversary of that? Like, because what's interesting is Michael Dean was talking about Bert and Chris calling you about, how you guys were going to cover January 6th. I remember my phone going off in the middle of the night when the Chris Rock slap happened, and I turned my phone over and I was like, one of my friends is dead. I was because it was that time of night. It was like
Right,
2:30 in the morning, like 6 straight texts. You're like, that's not good. And then when I saw it, and I just saw like, is this real? Is this real? My friend's in Australia. He just sent me screenshots. So it's like, I'm interested to see because I think the fallout of that, Will Smith's career.
Gone.
Tory, he was so famous.
He was the most famous.
He was so.
He was the best. Every summer, I was like,
Beloved.
let's go see the Will Smith movie. Every
Right.
time. He was, amazing. And then, did you see him? A guy tried to kiss him on the red carpet and he
Years
slapped
ago,
him.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it's just I think the fallout from that is and I think also Chris Rock ended up looking much better out of that. And really Will and Jada's public perception never really rebounded.
No.
I can't. You assaulted someone in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, that was insane. All right, Michael Dean, let's do a couple unpopular opinions.
Great.
And, before we do, Michael Dean, you're a sober man.
Oh yes.
So am I. Dry January is coming up.
Well, it's here.
It's here. Well, today's the first day I'm acknowledging it.
Whoop whoop.
I make political choices over here.
Although if you do start today, I think that's fine too.
Yes, I started about 5.5 years ago. More than that.
I'll tell you, it was really interesting. I was at my home group meeting for AA on Sunday night, and the number of people who were celebrating anniversaries was really insane. It was like a lot of people, and I was like, why is that? Oh yeah, because of the new year. Like this is a great time if you want to make big changes in your life, if you want to stick to it. And dry January is a really great way to start. You could just dip your toe in that water. What is my life like without alcohol? And it's interesting. You give it the full 31 days, and I think that you're going to get a really good understanding of kind of the difference in how you feel, how your sleep is, like how clear-headed you are, and whether or not you're suffering some of the same consequences. Now, of course, not everybody has a problem with alcohol, but I don't think you necessarily need to have a problem with alcohol to stop drinking.
Right. Yeah.
Well, that's what all these NA, the mocktails, everything now. It's just very popular now.
Right.
Yeah, I do. I
Clean,
will say
healthy
this.
eating.
I appreciate the popularity with mocktails.
Yeah.
Why are they the same price?
I
as the
agree with you
cocktails?
completely. Why are they $17?
That is unreal.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't need to be part of the group like this. I'm like, you gave me ginger ale and grape juice. Like, why is this $14? So, okay. Tory, they said because Dry January is getting so popular, people are doing the Shirley Temple. What is a Shirley Temple? Because I'm not sure.
It's like Sprite and grenadine, if you want to break it down. It's basically like bubbly, sparkly, carbonated, sweet Sprite or 7-Up. And then you mix in grenadine, which is a cherry-like flavor.
Liqueur, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not a liqueur.
Oh,
Well,
liqueur has alcohol in it, right?
Ginger ale or lemon lime soda and a splash of grenadine.
Yeah.
For color and flavor. Wow. And then a maraschino cherry.
So my mother had maraschino cherry. She loved them and would always order Shirley Temples. And my cousin Shelly would take the cherry stem and make a knot with her mouth. In her mouth.
That's a sexual thing, right?
It has to be.
What?
That's what I always thought it was.
Any innate skill, Tori.
Shut up, all of you.
It goes to show your tongue skills.
I thought it was just like a really cool party trick.
Yes, right off of Tori. What else? When else are you showing people your tongue, Tori?
No, but she did it with her mouth closed.
Right.
And then she'd go like this.
What is that supposed to simulate, Tori? No, so she used her hand just like this. What are you doing? Are you trying to get AI?
You thought that was just like a party trick?
I would try it all the time with Shelly, and then I go, and I'd choke up.
There are people that would pay for that right now. Like a lot of money. That'd be like our new spider, Mike. Just one gross dude that made a lot of money in the 2000s funding the show. And we have to act like he's not.
And we have cherries everywhere for some reason.
It's like, what?
Oh, Luna fell down.
She's fine. She's got 4 legs.
Okay, she's back.
Yeah, she fell down. That's one of the things that hit me this weekend when I was leaving the club when I was in Steamboat. And I told you all those young kids. Well, it was young kids in there, and there were more young kids coming in, and I panicked. It's like, because it was icy, I didn't want to slip and fall and just hear like a young person go, an older man fell. He's still down. What's your name, sir?
Did you break a hip?
Like, yeah, just like hear her not even dissing me, but talking to the cop. Honestly, like, yeah, bigger guy fell. He slipped. He's really old. The old guy.
The oldest man in the world fell down. Can we get some help?
You see him right there.
Where's your walker, sir?
Yeah, I did not want to hear like a young person like.
Do you have a button you can hit? That's so sad.
It's just a strictly narcissism.
So are you guys no longer going? You would not go to like a bar or a club and still drink non-alcoholic, but because people are too young now?
Yeah, I don't want to do that to them and hold up their space. There's a place where you need to go when you're young and be wild and not like, oh, I think that's so-and-so's dad.
I think
Sue Kitchen tried to do it too with her mouth. Hell yeah, it's sexual. Oh.
Thank you. read that with the perfect energy because you were doing it wrong.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my God. Okay. Sorry. I didn't get it. I'm sorry.
I hope, colleagues, you guys see what I mean when I say Tori just starts talking. She did not know where that was going to go. She was like, oh, this is definitely on my side of
W
things.
is on my side. Oh, wait, hold on. What did he say?
Yeah, it's sexual.
Okay, well,
All right,
it is. Okay.
Michael Dean, give us one more one unpopular opinion. We'll get out of here.
Oh, there were some good ones today. Okay. Oh, this is good. You guys both have partners. Sitting next to your partner at a restaurant is so much better than sitting across from them.
No, we're not on a ski lift. I don't want to be side by side with my partner. What are we being arrested together? Getting our story straight? It's a weird balance with the table.
It feels feng shuied off.
If you're both right-handed, their elbow's going to be all up in your shit.
And then I feel like the waiter comes in teaching a class.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
yes.
to two of the pupils. Yeah, John Harbaugh got fired by the Ravens.
Oh, he got fired?
Yeah, that's why we were bringing that
Wow.
up. That's the team that lost the playoffs because that poor
He's been there for like 19 years.
the loop kicker. Ay.
Yes.
Yeah. Someone says it's not sexual. Thanks, Sue.
Yes, and Gabriel, we're going
Where
to.
does
I
this
was going to bring that up.
It's not
We're going to talk about the Uvalde thing tomorrow. I want to get all into because
Oh,
they're
yeah.
finally having that trial. Which I'm glad because I think that is one of those things.
Talk
that
about
needs to
taking
be
forever, though.
77 minutes, bro. 77 minutes.
That was a tragedy.
He was told exactly where the gunner was.
Oh, dude, I went down a.
Just so you know, the guy,
Uvalde
the police
rabbit
that
hole.
didn't take action is going on trial.
Yes.
That's what we're talking about. Yeah.
It was. I mean, just
Yeah.
they were
In
just,
Uvalde, the
Yes,
shooting in
please go.
Uvalde. Yeah.
He was sorry, we're just bouncing all around here, but he was coach since 2008.
Harbaugh.
His name is Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Isn't that the guy from Michigan?
No, that's his brother.
Oh.
Right. Yeah. Isn't that cool though?
Well, okay.
They both used to be.
They're Harbros.
They
were.
call it a seismic NFL breakup.
Yes, I mean it's one of
Seismic.
the oldest coaching regimes. So I mean that's one of those things. That's like one of those like shows that you never get anymore. That just like I was thinking about like a cameraman on The Price is Right. He just went in for some job and you just have it
For 50 years.
All the old school Hollywood benefits. Like you probably got a dope crib.
Amazing
Your
medical benefits.
Your kids never had to move because most shows are like, we got 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Oh, 2 seasons of this weird show. It was in Tacoma, Washington. You know, like you don't get to just be like, we live here, fixed schedule. No, nothing's ever going to go wrong. No one's going to say anything crazy. Just like no matter what's going on in the world, you're just like, here's an L. There's nothing go wrong with that job. Good for them.
I have one more unpopular opinion.
Here we go.
Okay. No offense
Is this
is
the-
always an offense. It's not a disclaimer, it's a warning.
Yeah, I think it's always an offense. Go ahead, Tori. What do you think? Is that thoughts?
Ellen DeGeneres had this joke where she goes, did you get a new haircut? Hope you didn't pay for that. Just kidding. And she's like, well, then you don't know how to kid properly because we should both be laughing.
Yeah.
And I sort of feel like that with the no offense. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt.
And even if it doesn't, but it's because the reason I agree.
And does it excuse it?
Well, sometimes you have to say hard things to people.
But then just don't say no offense. You just have to be real.
Yeah,
You just
right.
have to be like, look, Michael, then you're not showering before you're coming to work. You don't say no offense because I think the no offense will come in if you go, hey, Michael Dean, no offense, I don't know what your customs are, but like we need you to shower every day. And then you can inform me whether
Maybe
you do or
yeah,
don't.
Right.
Right.
But like when you just go, no offense, you need to go wash your ass. Like that's more of like a diss. You know what I'm saying? Not a like
Can you imagine
an
someone telling
HR
you
concern
to wash your ass? Oh my God.
I mean, I think, but you know what? I think that kind of language in a weird way resonates more with people. If you got fired from a job and the last thing they yelled as you were walking down the street with your box is wash your ass, you would never forget that. I don't care if you became the effing president. You'd be in the limo like, why did he say that to me? It would ruin me, Tori. I would only think about I'd be calling his house. Like, what do you
You'd
mean?
be in therapy. Be
Yeah,
like,
I would be like, did I stink the whole time?
Yeah, right.
Every
Why didn't
day
anybody
I
tell
stunk?
me?
Yeah,
Right.
right.
Yeah, but that's like the worst kind of diss is like not like something racial. Anybody can yell that, but if somebody says something like really really direct,
Yeah.
that would just like really kill me.
Yeah.
That would kill me.
It's a warning.
Yeah, yeah. It's no offense. It can never go. It's always,
And don't say we need to talk.
No, we need to talk is terrible.
It's just, what are you doing? You're making it feel so
If you
uncomfortable.
say we need to talk, you need to immediately follow that up with
It's not bad.
this is
or-
serious or not.
Right.
yes.
Like
Yes.
you just need to say you just need to categorize it. Otherwise, the other person's just spinning.
right.
Yeah,
and
I'm
you
spinning,
know
I'm
that
spinning.
because if I go, Tori, you need to call me back right this second. It's not a big deal. Just call me back.
Right.
That's different than being like, we need to talk right now, and then you go, what's up, and then I don't respond.
my God, that's
like
the
that's
worst.
way like it's almost threatening, and there's no way that you don't know
Or call
that,
me.
that person's spinning.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah.
all right. So we agree. We also agree that our time is too short, but yet, Tori, we're gonna move on till tomorrow. You did a great job. You rocked that dog fur.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. By the way, you now have a dog fur dress on.
Yeah.
It's the Luna dress.
Yes. Well done, Luna. Michael Dean, great job
And
as
this
always.
pillow.
Great stories. Tori, tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me on Colorado and Company every single day from 10 to 11 on 9 News.
And they can find you on the streets. Where you battle in the
I'm doing
MC.
cherry tongue twists in the street.
What if we found out that Tori was one of the greatest battle rappers in Denver on the local scene? I could see that. Because you already got a gimmick. You're like, oh.
The Jewish
you
rapper?
Don't, yeah, you don't expect, well, you just like, you don't expect you to come in there
Yeah.
and battle.
Yeah.
But what if you were just nice?
in and like-
There's a really super country cat that like freestyles on the internet. And, you know, he's just like a white dude, but he's like, he flows. And it's like, I do think it's always like you need something for people to pay attention to. And if you're like not that typical demo,
Yeah.
and you can do it,
You can do it.
I think you freestyling, Tori. Why don't you do it right now?
Okay.
All right.
Are you ready? Why are you
Yes.
laughing already?
We're here for you.
Okay. Can someone drop a beat?
We're setting you up for
Does
success.
someone want to give me a beat?
Why don't you go off the topic of
Okay, I got it. Okay.
friends from work?
Okay. You know you want to feel this pod because when you do, it's in your bod. It's deep inside and makes you feel. And when you feel, you want to have a good reel. Really?
It was like your other personality came out and had been listening the whole time.
Right.
It's like, are you serious?
There were so many keywords you could have rhymed with.
But you know what, Michael?
And then
Dean,
you
she tried
changed-
it.
you
That's
changed
why I
it
love
up.
her.
I think that was
I
really
think
good.
that was- yes, it
really? At the end? That's like my
are we
go-to.
really doing
Really?
this? All right.
Really?
We really have to go. You're welcome for your bonus freestyle.
Oh, someone wants a fact. They both said very quickly, it's illegal to own just one guinea pig in Switzerland. You have to have 2 because they're very lonely creatures.
Or social creatures.
Yeah.
What do you mean lonely?
They need another.
Is it sitting at a Starbucks by itself?
No, they're just very lonely, so it's illegal.
How do we know that?
They have studied them.
How do you study loneliness in a guinea pig?
I think there's a way.
They have a rating scale and they just go press.
They press the
He
sad
walks
face.
up and
Sad button.
pushes a sad face with his paw again.
I'm alone.
One in there.
I'm alone.
Yeah. Okay. All right, colleagues. We love y'all. We'll see you tomorrow. We are out.
I like them cherry tongue twist tour.
See? Damn right it's sexual.
Don't love that.
Yeah.